Hello everyone, my name is Magnolia Minecraft and welcome back to my channel. Today we are building a cute little orange tree. As you can see on the left side of the screen, this is not a very big tree. In fact, most of those outer blocks are just grass that I've placed on the ground, but that little pink dot in the center, for those of you who are not familiar, is our reference point. We build from the ground up in layers from a bird's eye view. Now, here is our materials list for our survival friends. As you can see, like I said, very small, not very hard to build. I think the resin clumps would be the hardest to get in survival, but even then, that's not too tricky as long as you have a pale oak forest near you. Fun fact about me, I actually grew up in a place with a lot of orange trees. So this orange tree does feature a white base of the trunk with that diorite wall, as we can see here on layer 1. And that is because where I'm at, people spray the bottom of the orange trees, and a lot of trees actually, with insecticide, which turns the trunk white. So if you don't want to do that, if you just want to do a natural looking orange tree, replace this diorite wall with a tuff wall. But because that is how orange trees look and feel to me, we are doing a diorite wall to start. And now, as the graph does say, or as the materials list said rather, the grass is totally optional, but it just felt right to me. Again, I grew up around a lot of orange trees and I'm just going based off of what feels good. Like this. That is layer 1, super duper easy. And layer 2, we are building with tuff walls now and some leaves. Don't worry too much about the resin directions. If you can't understand it, I will help you out. So if we start at the very top of the graph here, there's a little half block where I have orange blocked out. That just means the resin is on that side of the block, okay? So now if we go in a clockwise direction, there's resin on the right side of this top block. We skip, we go down here, there's resin on the right and bottom and left side of this block. There's resin on the bottom, or rather the south, I guess, southward facing side of this block, and the northward side of this block, as well as for all three of these, resin is on the bottom of the block, so like this. Perfect. And that is layer 1, or layer 2, complete. Now we have 4 tuff walls starting in our middle and building out our branches, and then we'll place our azalea leaves. This layer kind of looks like a heart. I love it. Perfect. And starting here, this just means that this top middle block here just means that resin looks like that. It's just on this block. And then continuing in our clockwise rotation again. Perfect. And we have a couple of, well, most of these have it on the bottom of the block. Just like that. So that is layer 3. Now layer 4, we have an azalea leaf on our reference point, and then we have 2 walls. And then we have some more azalea leaves. And a bunch of resin as usual. Alright, that is layer 4, and our last layer, layer 5, we only have 2 leaves, and that's on top of these walls. And we have a bunch of resin on top of the leaves, as well as on the sides of this one. And then that brown square just means that there's resin on all sides of this leaf here. Like that, and that is layer 5. And just like that, our orange tree is done. If you've ever lived around orange trees, tell me this does not feel like an orange tree. They're not super big, and they just have this very cozy feel to them when put into Minecraft. Shout out to Mordred for suggesting this, because a couple weeks ago he commented on my video and was like, I'd love to see an orange tree. And I have to confess, at first I was like, oh yes, an orange tree. A tree made out of orange blocks. I didn't I didn't think that maybe he meant, you know, a fruit tree. And then I was thinking about it a couple days later, and I was like, huh, I wonder if he meant the fruit tree. So I went back and commented and was like, hey, Mordred, what did you mean? Did you mean a tree that is orange or an orange tree? And he was like, the fruit tree. And I said, okay, I will build the fruit tree. So that's how we got our orange tree. So everyone say thank you to Mordred for suggesting this, because this is probably the cutest tree I've ever built in Minecraft. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. If you want the schematics and graphs to download for this, head over to my Patreon. That's just $2 a month that you get the schematics and the graphs to download. And if you want to see my videos early, subscribe to my $5 tier. You get early ad-free access to all of my videos forever. Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Shout out to my lovely patrons whose names are on screen, and have a good one. Bye!